Welcome our dear participants, dear colleagues, and wonderful students joining us across the globe. And if you are just joining us, you're welcome to ADEWALE KAYODE online class. And this is a page where you can get 21st century content that you can use to improve your learning outcome in mathematics, in statistics. And also this page is also a page that we can use to learn different virtual instructional engagement that you can use to engage and as well use it to evaluate your student. But tonight, for the past quite some time now, we have been looking at statistical tools that researchers can use to do analysis. We are looking at statistical tools that you can use to represent your information after you might have been through as a researcher. And I said this particular edition is especially for undergraduate and postgraduate students, especially those in education line, researchers, statisticians, and mathematicians. So, of course, like I said, we have looked at quite numbers of statistical tools. We've looked at central tendency. We've looked at measure of dispersion, like variance and standard deviation. We've looked at test of relationship. We have looked at Spearman ranking. We have also looked at Spearman. We look at Spearman ranking. We look at Pearson. We move away from there. We have been looking at test of difference, and we have considered t-test. We've looked at chi-square. And today, we are looking at analysis of variance. I know many of us, you have heard a lot of things about ANOVA, analysis of variance. When do we use analysis of variance? Why can't we use statistical tools like t-test to run those things that we can use analysis of variance to run? When can we use analysis of variance? Those are those things we are going to look at on this video. If you are just joining us for the first time, like I said, you're welcome to ADEWALE KAYODE online class. And this class is mainly for mastering analysis of variance. It's an essential technique for researchers and students. So if you are just joining, you can try to copy the link to this video and share with other colleagues, other students, or other participants you think this video will be useful for. So we want to first of all look at those steps or those procedures that you follow when you want to use analysis of variance. We'll be looking at them one after the other. But before we look at it, what is analysis of variance itself? What is analysis of variance? Like I said, and at what point do we use analysis of variance? When the group of mean is just 2. When the group of means is just 2, you make use of t-test, and that is at the point where you are considering gender. You know, gender is always male and female. That is in our own area. Other people may think their own gender is more than that, but generally, globally, the only gender that is accepted is male and female. So anything that is related to this now, you make use of t-test. But if the group mean is more than 2, you are going to make use of analysis of variance. And that is the essence of using ANOVA. So what is ANOVA again? I've said the full meaning of ANOVA is analysis of variance. And it is inferential statistical test. It's an inferential statistical test that we use to determine if the difference among 3 or more sample means are statistically significant. If the 2 or more are 3 or more are statistically significant. Of course, if it is just 2, group mean, if it is just 2 sample mean, you make use of t-test. But when it's getting to 3 or more, you have to make use of analysis of variance. And I've said an example is when we use it to see if there are significant difference among corresponding population means. For instance, now, if I'm considering I want to look at the group means between three, let's say three, what is it called? The three major religions that we have in Nigeria. We talk about Islam, Christianity, and tradition. In that case now, they already have a sample means of what? Of three. Traditional. Okay, let me start with Christianity, Islam, and what? And traditional. So this is three. So in considering these three now, you have to make use of ANOVA. If you want to look at the sample mean of this one now, because it's talking about three. But if it is just gender, that is male and what? And female. So in this case, you make use of what? T-test. I will repeat myself. When you are looking at sample mean of 2, you use t-test. But if the sample mean is already what? Is 3, you make use of analysis of variance. That's the essence of why we are using analysis of variance. So again, what is analysis of variance again? I said analysis of variance, you know, like I said, t-test can be used to compare two sample mean to see whether or not they are significantly different. But if you are what? This may lead to you to what? To thinking of when you are talking about 3 groups. I've shown you an example. An example is religion. When you are talking about religion, is 3. Okay, let's take, you are talking about for those of us that in Taisho learning now, for instance, if you are considering college, you know, you'll be talking about course seats, you'll be talking about cohum, you'll be talking about cosped, you'll be talking about coham. Now you see that this one is already what? Is more than 2. So once it's like this, once the sample mean is more than 3, is 3 or more, you make use of what? Analysis of what? Variance. I think I've shown different examples where you make use of analysis. Okay, another common example is when you are talking about age. When you are sampling age of people, you know, you might have grouped the age. Maybe you are talking about age of a teacher between 25 to 30. That is first group. Talking about 31. When you are talking about 31 to, let's say talking about 31 to 35, you are talking about 36. Of course, this is more than, it will be more than 3. So once it is 3 or more, you make use of analysis of what? Variance. Another thing, when you are looking at a mean, what is it called? The sample mean of, let's say, qualification. You are looking at sample mean of qualification now. You know, when you are talking about qualification, you talk about SSC, you move away, you talk about NCE or OND, you move away, you talk about BSc or HND, you move away, you talk about masters, then you go ahead and talk about PhD. You see that this one is 3, is even more than 3. So once it is more than 3, the sample mean is already more than 3, then you have to make use of what? Analysis of what? Variance. Now let's come back now. Can somebody cite, for those of us joining me online, can you cite me another sample mean aside from those ones that I've mentioned? I want it on the comments. Sample mean, another sample mean that you can use t-test. Another sample mean in the comment section. In the comment section, another sample mean that you can use t-test. Give me one example that you can use t-test. Give me another example that you can use analysis of variance in the chat. At least I'll give you for t-test, when you talk about gender, that is t-test. But when you are going to like talking about religion, you have to make use of analysis of what? Variance. I need the example in the chat. I need the example in the chat. So what is the table of, I want to first of all draw the table of analysis of variance before I move into the procedure. So let me draw the table for us. The table is basically divided into 4. So you divide it into what? Into 4. And here you talk about the source of variation. the source of variation. So you talk about the source of variation, the degree of freedom. Then you move away from degree of freedom, talk about SS. What's the meaning of SS? I know many of us will normally see SS. You talk about what's the meaning of that SS. They always talk about SS. What's the meaning? So then you move away from there, you talk about MS. So I will tell you the meaning. Then from there, just like the way we do it for t-test, where you get your t calculated, this time around now you are getting your f calculated. That is the calculated value of this. Then you move away from there, you talk about F table. So for analysis of variance, you check your F table. So in checking the S of F table, you look at between the group and within and the residual. Within the group and the residual, then you move away from there, you talk about the total. So like I said, the SS means total of sum of square, the total of sum of square. And MS simply means mean square. MS means mean square. So this is total of sum of square. Let me put it here, total of sum of square. And this one is what? Mean square. So under the degree of freedom between group is K minus 1. I will tell you the meaning of the K. Then the residual is N minus K. And the total here will be N minus what? N minus 1. So under under the sum of the square, you have the TRSS, then under the residual that will be RSS, which is equals TSS minus TRSS. Then you get your TSS here. Then here now you get your TRMS, and then you get your RMS. Then you get your F calculated and your T calculated. All these are not something that is difficult. They are some of those things that some examiner may give you the table and just ask you to complete the table. Some may not give you the table and they will ask you to fill up the table. So, like I said, we'll look at it one by one. What is TRSS? What did they mean by TRSS? What did they mean by TRSS? The TRSS means the treatment sum of the square. That's the meaning of TRSS. Treatment sum of the square. The TRSS, that is treatment of the square. Treatment sum of the square. That is TRSS. Let's move away from there. What did they mean by TSS? The TSS is total sum of the square. Then you take it away from there, total sum of the square. That is the TSS, total sum of the square. Then you take it away from there. You are seeing what we call TRMS. That is treatment mean square. Then TMS is residual mean square. So let's see the procedure now. Or let me put a questions on the board for us. Then we'll look at it one after the other. Suppose a test is administered to 3 randomly selected groups. Suppose a test is administered to 3 randomly selected group of students in a large university, majoring in physics, chemistry, and biology. So they were major. Look at them. 3 groups. The group 1, group 2, and group what? Group 3. So, you know, of course, you have to make use of analysis of variance because it's already 3 groups. So, the group 1 is mathematics, group 2 is biology, group 3 is chemistry. So, what are their observed? So, what are their value? So, we have 6 for mathematics, 11, 5, 2, and 1. So I want us to take it one after the other. So for the second group, 16, 10, 13, 14, and 11. The third group, 25, 16, 21, 23, and 20. So the first thing to do here, the first step, like I said, basically there are 7 steps. Let me say there are 7 steps. There are 7 steps to take. There are 7 steps to take. So step 1, we'll be taking the step one after the other. Don't mind me because I'll be cleaning this step under this, but I will not clean this formula because we have to fall back under this word, formula. So the first thing to do here, the first step, step 1, I'll put 1, is to calculate the grand total here. The first one is to calculate the what? The grand total. So I'm calling this, let me call this group 1. So let me call group 1A, call this B, and call this one C. So the grand total for this, we do this together. Can we add? I want those of you joining us online to work it with me. So let's add it together. 6 plus 11 plus 5 plus 2 plus what? Plus 1. So that will give me 25. That will give me 25. So you first of all get, so that means we are more or less as getting the sum, summation A. So this is 25, and summation B is what? 64, and summation C is 105. Can we try that if you got the same thing with me? So that's the first step. That's the first step. I want people to comment. Oh, I want comments. I want comments. So you first of all get the grand total. So you get the grand total for AB. So step 1 now, we have done the step 1, which we are through with step 1, which is talking about summation of the first group, which is equals to 25, summation of the second group, which is equals to 64, and summation of the third group, which is what? 105. That is step 1. That is step 1. So step 2. So the first step is to get the grand total. So step 2. Step 2 is to, this is the summation of the first group, summation of the second group, summation of the third group. Step 2 is to get the grand total. The grand total. The grand total. So the grand total will be what? Total for 1, which is what? 25. Or let me call that one A, summation A plus summation B plus summation what? C. That is addition of the what? Sum of the 3. So that is 25 plus 64 plus 105. So when you add that together, that will give us 194. So that's the second step. The third step. What is the third step? I want us to confirm what we are doing. Confirm what we are doing. Confirm that, please. If you are getting it, I want you to comment yes. I know it's a video that will remain here. Yes, thank you, Babatunde. Olanipekun, thank you. Yes. Thank you, Babatunde. He said, example is political party. Yes, God bless you. Political party in Nigeria can serve as an example of Ayo. Ayo. Mi mọ̀ pé fóònù mi ti lò. So sorry, dear participant. I hope you can still hear me. Yes, so sorry. I think there was a little bit technical itches here, and that was the reason why I went off like that. Please, if you can still hear me clearly, can you comment in the comment section? If you can hear me clearly, can you comment in the comment section? If you can hear me, can you comment in the comment section? If you can hear me, can you comment in the comment section? If you can hear me clearly, I want to confirm if you can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, can you comment? If you can still hear me, can you comment in the comment section? I need a comment if you can hear me. Comment if you can hear me clearly. Yes, thank you, Mr. Babs. Thank you, Olanipekun. Yes, I'm so sorry. I think that's a little bit things that we normally face when we are doing things like this. So we are facing a little some technical issues. So we said before we started the video that ANOVA, these are the set of statistical tools that we normally use to test the means of sample means that is 3 or more. And you can see an example here where you have 3 groups here. The group 1, the group A, group B, and group what? Group C. So from here now, we have taken the first step, which is to find the sum of each group. We have got the sum of the first group, the sum of the second group, the sum of the third group. So now the next thing now is to get our grand total. The grand total simply means addition of everything for the sum of group 1, group 2, and group 3. So the next step, which is step 3, is to know the number per group. N is to know our what? Our N. The next one is to know the N. Is to know the N, which is the number per group. So number per group. So I want us to look at it very, very well, one after the other. So it's for us to know the N. So the N simply means the number per group. The number per group, that is our N. And then the K is the numbers of group. Number of group. So I will still need this, so I don't want to touch the table. So what is the N? N is the number per group. The number per group. The number per group. So number per group. So how many did they observe here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our N is what? Is 5. Then the numbers of group. How many is the group? Can I get that in the comment section? How many is in the group? How many do we have in the group? How many do we have in the group? How many group are we working on? I need it in the comment section. The group. I can see a response. Yes, the N is 5, which is talking about the number per group. How many number do we have per group? And how many number do we have in a group? So we have 3 groups. Group 1, group 2, group 3. So that is the step what? Step 3. Step 3. Please, I want someone to come and help me to confirm. Someone should come and help me to confirm if you can still see my screen under here. So we are moving to step 4. I need someone to confirm. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen under this? I need someone to confirm for me in the technical room. I need someone to confirm for me in the technical room. Yes, I need someone in the studio to confirm for me, okay? So, all right. So let's move away. So the step 4 now. The step 4 is to find our CF. Is to find our CF. So what do we mean by CF? What do we mean by CF? The CF is correction factor. Is the correction factor. CF is our correction factor. So how do we get our correction factor? The correction factor, CF, the correction factor, CF simply means the correction factor. So the correction factor simply means the grand total square to be divided by the N, the capital N, the capital N, the capital N, the grand total. Grand total, when you square the grand total, I think I need to clean this side now so that even if you need it, we may not likely to need every year. So we can fall back into this since we have our formula, our table on the screen with us. So we need to get our CF, which is correction factor. The correction factor is the what? That's the grand total. You square the grand total to be divided by N. So what is that N? What is that N? What is that your N standing for? The N, what does that N stand for? How do you get the N? The N is simply means the number per group multiplied by numbers of what? The group. The number per group multiplied by numbers of the group. So our CF now is equals grand total square over N. Capital N, that means the number per group multiplied by the numbers of the group. So that means our grand total is 194, which is the grand total, all square to be divided by 3 multiplied by 5, which is what? 15 here. So that means our N here is equals N, the small n, multiplied by K, which is number per group multiplied by number of the group, which is equals to 15 here. That's how we get here. So let's square this now. Let's square 194 square. 194 square. So 194 square. So 194 square. All right, so 194 square. So that is going to give me 194 square. That will give me 37,636 to be divided by 15. So when you divide that by 15, that will give me divided by 15. So that will give me 2,509.06. So you just apply that one to, so our CF now is equals 2,509. You approximate it to the nearest whole number, to the nearest whole number. So we are done with step 4. So moving on to step 5 now. Moving on to step 5. If it is clear to that place, can we have comments? If you have any challenge, let me know. Okay, it's clear to that level. So let's move on to step 5. The step 5 now is to get our TSS. Is to get our TSS. Don't forget, this is your TSS. So it's to get our TSS. So what is our TSS? Our TSS is the total sum of square. The total sum of square. That is the TSS. The total sum of square. That's the TSS. So how do you get your total sum of square? This is where we can say there's a little bit work. There's a little bit work. So we have to still make reference to that table. So our TSS now. So our TSS now is that is summation x square. What does that mean? Summation of summation x square. Summation of summation x square minus the correction factor. Minus correction factor. So when we say summation x square, simply means all the observed data, all the data given to you, you are going to square them one by one. Group 1. So let me put it in this way. group 1, group 2, group 3. So I'm going to square them one by one and add everything together. So let me go back to my table now. For those of us that are writing it down, so for group 1, I have 6 square plus 11 square plus 5 square plus 2 square plus 1 square. So group 2, 16 square plus 10 square plus 13 square plus 14 square plus 11 square. So group 3, 25 square plus 16 square plus 21 square plus 23 square plus 20 square. So you square everything and you add everything together. So that is your summation x square. Summation x square. That is, you square each of the what observed value in each of the group. So when you square everything, that's square root of square 6, that is 36, plus 121, plus 25, plus 4, plus 1. And that will give me, when I square that, that will give me 187. 16 square plus 10 square plus 13 square plus 14 square plus 11 square. That will give me 842. So move on to the next one. 25 square plus 16 square plus 21 square plus 23 square. That will be 2,251. So I'm going to add this one now. Since they said summation of all these, so if I add everything there, I'm going to get 3,280. 3,280. 3,280. And the formula says for TSS, the total sum of square is equals the summation s square, which is 3,280 minus CF, that is the correction factor. So the correction factor is 2,509. So when you take that, can we take that away? Can we take that away? Please, if you are joining us, you can try to copy this link and make sure you share it to the students you know that will benefit from this. So 3,280 minus 2,509. So that will give me 771. 771. So without wasting much of our time, like I said, I'm not going to clean this table. So immediately I'm getting all the figures of the table, I can come here and clean this place and put my answer there. So can I get a blue? Okay, I think I can get a blue marker just to let you know that I've started getting my answer. This one is 771. So TSS. So TSS done and dusted. TSS is done and dusted. So step 6 now. I'm moving on to step 6. Step 6 is for me to get the compute. I'm going to compute the TRSS. I'm going to compute TRSS. What's the meaning of TRSS? That is the treatment sum of the square. 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 That is TRSS. You can see TRSS here. Treatment sum of the square. So what is the treatment? How do you get your treatment sum of the square? How do you get treatment sum of the square? So to get the treatment sum of the square, we say is equals the square of this, square of the sum of this, plus square of the sum of this, plus square of the sum of this. So that is the group 1, the total grand total for group 1, square it, plus grand total for group 2, square it, plus grand total for group 3 and square it. So that will give us what? That will give us 25 square plus 64 square plus 105 square. And you divide everything by the number. So this one is divided by the number. It's divided by the number per group. The number per group, which is what? Which is 5. So can we find this now? Can you, if you can see my screen there, can you confirm that? Okay, thank you, Mr. Babs. So let's square this now. So 25 square. Then whatever answer you get here now, whatever answer we get in this place, you are taking your, okay, this is this now. So whatever answer we get here now, you are taking your correction factor away from that. So let's square this now. This is 25. 25 square, that's 625 plus 64 square. 64 square, that will be 4,096 plus 105 square. So that is 11,025. Everything to be divided by 5. So I'm going to clean from this place now. Or let me clean from up, because I will still need some of this thing here. Or let me clean from here. So if you have any challenge, I will let us know. So let me clean from here. I think I can feel some things here. I can feel some things there. So the total here now. So when I total everything here, when you total everything here, that will be. So when you total everything there, that will be 1,557. I want you to confirm that. 625 plus 4,946 plus 1,000, plus 11,025. So that will give me 15,000. Yes. Okay, so that will give me 15,746. 15,746. So 15,746. So to be divided by 5. So to be divided by 5. So that will give me 3,149. So I'm leaving it to the whole number. So here now, I'm still on step 6. So that means my TRSS is equals this, that is the square of the grand total for group 1 plus square of the grand total for group 2 plus square of the grand total of group what? Group 3 to be divided by n. Then I will take the correction factor away from this. So let me take correction factor away from this. Taking the correction factor away from this. So I've got this one, which is 3,149. So correction factor, which is 2,509. So let's take that away. So that is 3,149 minus 2,009. So that will give me 604. Let me manage this, please. That will give me 604. So that means I've get my TRSS. So my TRSS now is what? My TRSS is now 604. 604. My TRSS now is 640. So when you calculate this very well, it will give you 640. So this place, so when you take this away from this, that will give you 640. So that means this is 640. So we have to take it like that, 640. And that is why many examining body or many examiner will not ask you to get the whole table. So they will just say, okay, get TRSS, get TSS, and they will just leave. They might have give you some of this one. So now we have got that. We have got our
we have got our TRSS, we have got our TSS. So the next thing we need to get now is to get our RSS. RSS. So how do we get our RSS? So RSS now is our step 7. RSS is our step 7. Don't forget your number of your N is what? Your N is 5 and your K is what? Is 3. In fact, you should have get that one earlier. So let's clean this place and leave correction factor. I'm not sure we need anything in correction factor again. So let's move away from there. So step 7 now. The step now is to get the step 7 now is to get your RSS. So what is your RSS? Which is this place? That one is very simple. If you look at it here, the RSS is just TSS minus TRSS. TSS minus TRSS. And if you remember that when you go back to the formula, you see that TSS is this, TRSS is this. So that's why some examiner will just give you this, and they will ask you to find this. So this place is just 771 minus 640. So let's take that away from each other, and you see that you have got your, we're almost done. We're almost done. That's 771 minus 640. So that will give us 131. So that means our TRSS is now equals 131. So that's the difference between this and this. So that is 131. So we're almost done. We're almost done. So the next thing now is you have to get your TRMS and then RMS. So like I said, let's quickly take care of this. K minus 1. Our K is what? Yes, our K is the number of group. So just take 3 minus 1. This is just 3 minus 1. So that is what? 2. So N minus K. N minus K. N, you remember your N. Your N is your N. Our capital N is small n, which is the numbers of the observed multiplied by numbers of the group, which is equal to what? 15. I think you remember that. So that means this place now is NK, N minus K, a capital N, which is 15. So this is 15 minus 3, and that will give us 12. N minus 1, so which is what? 14. So it's 15 minus 1. So which is going to give us 14. So this is what? 12. This is what? 14. We are almost through. We are almost through. So what's the next thing to do? Is to move on to the step 8 now. So what is step 8? As you can see, step 8 now is to get your TRMS. TRMS. What is the full meaning of TRMS? That's treatment mean square. Treatment mean square. Don't forget that it's different from treatment sum of the square. So this is TRMS, treatment mean square. So what is treatment mean square? The treatment mean square is just TRSS be divided by K minus 1. K minus 1. You remember this place is where do we get? Okay, so that means our TRSS, we have got our TRSS before. So what is our TRSS? Which is what? 131 to be divided by our K. Our K is 3 minus 1. So this is 131 minus divided by 2. So what would that give us? TRSS. So sorry, TRSS. Let's look at it here. There is a mix up there. So the TRSS is 640. Look at it here. So to be divided by our K is what? 3 minus 1. So that is 640 to be divided by 2. This one is a simple math. 3 in this, 3 in this, 2. So that's 300 and what? 20. So 320. So that means we have got this as what? 320. So let me look for my blue. 320. This is 320. So there are some of these cases that you can just get on your own. So the final things we are going to get now is your Haru MS. Haru MS. Step 9, Haru MS. So what is Haru MS? RMS is the residual mean square. Residual mean square. So what is residual mean square? Residual mean square is your RSS, which we have got our RSS before. What's our RSS? We've got our RSS before. So RSS to be divided by n minus k, that is the capital. That's the n is your the numbers of the observed multiplied by the numbers of the group. So what is our RSS? We have got it before. So I need someone to tell me the RSS now. I need someone to tell me the RSS. We have got the RSS before. You remember our RSS? You remember our RSS? That's step 7. I'm expecting someone on the screen to tell me. So that is what? So this is 131. This is our RSS. To be divided by our capital N is what? 15 minus 3. So this is 131 to be divided by, take this away, that is 12. So that's 131 divided by 12. Great. That will give us 10.9. So that is our RMS. 10.9. So 10.9. So this place is what? So I'm looking for 10.9. So this is 10.9. We are almost through. It's just to get our F calculated now, which is the last thing. And it's the easiest thing. That is the F ratio. Is the easiest thing. So how do we get your F calculated, which is the F ratio? How do we get that? So let me clean this place. You know that is the last step. Like I told you at the beginning of the class, that there are steps. There are 10 steps to get your analysis of variance, to get your F calculated. So step 10. Step 10 is F calculated, called F ratio. So it's just getting your TRMS to be divided by your RMS. So what is your TRMS? I want in the comment section now. What is your TRMS? I want someone to comment in the section. Okay. So our TRMS is what? You still remember that is this. That's why I didn't want to clean the table. 320 divided by 10.9. So when you divide that, can we divide this? So that's why I said sometimes when they just give you, once you know the table, it is easier for you to get whatever you want to get, divided by 10.9. And that will give us 29.36. So your F calculated now is what? Your F calculated is 29.36. So of course, how do you get your F table? You go to your table. You go to table. So let me look for my 4-figure table now. My 4-figure table. So when I check my 4-figure table now, under 0. What? under 0.05, my F table is 3.89. 3.89. Ladies and gentlemen, we have completed the analysis of variance table. So it is now left for us to take decision now. It's left for us to take decision. So let's take decision. Let's take decision with what you have seen here. With what you have seen here, the F calculated is what? Which is F ratio is 29.36, and our F table, I want to check on the table, that's 3.89. Between this one and this one, which one is the biggest? So that means F calculated is greater than what? Is greater than F table. What you go and check. In that case, like I said, remember the condition. To take the null hypothesis, and this is alternative hypothesis. To take the null hypothesis, your F calculated must be lesser than what? Must be lesser than F what? F table. So to take alternative hypothesis, your F calculated must be greater than F what? F table. So which of these conditions is met? The second one. So that means you take the what? You take the alternative hypothesis. You still remember the hypothesis? You still remember the hypothesis? The hypothesis is that the group means are not equal. The group mean, because when you remember the null hypothesis is that the group mean is not, that's the null hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis is that the group mean is what? Is equal. So you are going to take the alternative hypothesis. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, this is Adewale KAYODE online class, and this is a page where you get 21st century content that can improve your student learning outcome in mathematics. And this is also a page where you can get content on statistics as a researcher or as an undergraduate or postgraduate student that can help you in your research. And what you have been doing for the past 5 videos now, we are working on test of difference. We have used different statistical tools like it. We have used chi-square, and the last video we are doing now is analysis of variance. So if you find all these videos useful, you have to do me a favor by subscribing to this channel, so that anytime we have a next video, you have access to that. And as I promised, immediately after the analysis of variance, I will check if there are other things I can do. Then we move to statistical package for social science. We move to statistical package for social science. We use, because all these things we have been using and to do calculation, computer can also do it for us. But the essence of doing it in this way is for us to appreciate it when we are using computer to do that. And there are different applications you can use to do that. If you can do that for you, statistical package for social science can do that for you. So the next thing we are going to do now is that I will schedule I'm going to schedule. Then if you subscribe to the channel, you get a notification. So the next thing now is to move on to use statistical package to run some of these statistical tools, especially in the area of test of difference. So if you have any question, make sure you put your question under the comment section, and I can assure you I will attend to all the questions. With the questions we received, I received a question yesterday, which is questions on how do you know the class size? How do you know the class size of a frequency distribution if they did not give you the class interval? So I've just done a video on that. That's a video before this video. You can watch that if you're having challenge on it as well. So please make sure you help me to share this video. If you enjoy this class, can I get a comment on the comment section for the next 3 minutes? If you enjoy the class, can I have a comment? If you really get what we are saying, can I have a comment? Can we have a comment? Can we have a comment if you enjoy the class? If you enjoy the class, can we have a comment? If you enjoy the class, can we have a comment? I am waiting for your comment. I will put an assignment here for you. I'll put an assignment here for you. Once you are done with the assignment, come back to this place, come back to this page, and put your F calculated value here. So the assignment is this. You are going to perform an analysis of variance to test the equalities of the effect of the three methods of teaching. Someone is using three methods of teaching. He used group 1, group 2, and what? And group 3. And he got this as response. 43. So when he used is observing 5 students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's observing 5 students, and they use 3 different methods. So the first method is that the student got 43. The first candidate got 43, 53, 64, 35, and 68. Second method, the student got 55, 68, 58, 72, 65. For the third group, the student got 63, 72, 68, 78, and 87. So what you do for me is that you will look for the F calculated. What is the F calculated? And of course, you know, if you want to get your F calculated, you need to go through the 10 procedure, the 10 step of getting your F calculated here. That is the F ratio. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Do me good by subscribing to this channel. I clearly enjoyed the class. More power to thank you very much. Olanikpekun Babatunde, Aminat Asisat. The class is very educative. Thank you very much. So what you are going to do for me is that make sure you copy the link to this video and share this with all your students. Try this exercise. Okay, try the exercise and put your answer under the comment section. Thank you very much. God bless you all. We have come to the end of this class.